Hello fellow YouTubers. If you're new to the channel, my name's Neil. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today's video we're talking about filters. Now the most common filter that a lot of people will have seen is this type. This is a screw-on filter. This one in particular is a clear one. It's purely just to protect the front element of the lens. Okay, the filters come in all different shapes and sizes. This one, for instance, is a ND filter. This is around about a 1.5 stop to 2 stop filter. This is something I bought years and years ago when I started doing a little bit of photography. Nowadays I use it more so if I'm going to use one on my video camera or DSLR hybrid camera, which is what's shooting this video at the moment. So this is quite an old lens, or old filter I should say. This one is around about the same sort of age. This is a polarizing filter. Polarizing filters are generally used to remove reflections from water or glass, so you can shoot through them without the distraction of the reflection. Now this filter is a fairly new style of filter. It's become very, very popular in the last, say, 5 years or so. This is a variable ND filter. It's a combination of two filters, a polarizing filter and an ND. So as you rotate it, you can see it starts to get darker and darker and darker. So this is, I think, around about a 4-stop variable ND filter. This is one that I personally use quite a bit. I've just been traveling through South Africa on safari, taking lots of photographs and videos of animals, and this saved my bacon quite a few times with how bright the light is out there in South Africa. Now that's a KNF filter, by the way. The next type of filter I want to talk about is a 3x4. Now these are not super popular. They seem to be floating around the edges there. This is a straight one. I do have NDs, which I don't know where they are at the moment. Oh, there you go, found one. So that's one of the ND graduated filters, and it's usually used in a holder like this. Okay, this also screws onto the front of your lens and enables you to slide these filters in there. So it's graduated, as I say. Graduated filters are generally used so that you can reduce the bright sky and still have the foreground exposed. So hopefully between this filter allowing you to drop the hot sky down by, say, 2 stops, you may well be able to get your foreground and your background into the same shot and not have the sky blown out. There are obviously different ones. You can get a higher ND value. You can go right up to, I think, what they call an ND9, which is around about 3.5 stops. Okay, so the next filter I have here, which is a lot more common, it's been around for quite some time, is a 4x4 filter. This is an ND9 filter, so you can see how dark it is at the top section as I move it across my glasses and my eyes there. The problem with something like this is the actual ND section is quite small. So the issue is you don't have a lot of leeway in the ND section. The same with the 3x4, as you can see side by side. They're roughly about the same amount of ND between the two of them. Not great, but it is what it is. What a lot of people would be using in the industry on most productions, smaller productions, docos, short films, that sort of thing, will be something like this. This is a 6x4 graduated ND. So you can see that the graduation of the ND is actually quite a bit bigger than, say, the 4x4, if you put them side by side. So you can see that the graduated section between the two is similar, but the 6x4 is just that little bit longer, which means that you can do a gradual darkening of the section that you need to bring down a lot better. These are designed to go into, I've lost it. I put a matte box on top of it. Filter tray like this, which enables you to then slide it into a matte box. The issue with most people will come across is when they're using a standard matte box with standard set of rails like this to go onto lightweight rails, these being a lightweight rail system. This is actually off a film camera, but it is a lightweight rail system, standard 15mm. When you're using a ND filter with a tray like this, when you're sliding it through, normally the tray would hit the rails. So it doesn't, you're not able to use the full extent of the ND. So what most people would then have to do is to change the matte box to either a clamp-on or to a production matte box, which raises the camera and the matte box up higher above the rail system, so that you can actually use one of these trays in it. I've gone a slightly different route. Instead of having a clamp-on, because I don't have a clamp-on section, I've actually bought from good old K&F a adapter which takes 4x4 plastic filters similar to these. These are a 3x4. You can buy 4x4s from K&F. I bought the actual matte box section only, and I've actually fitted it to the back of this matte box so that I can use their screw-on fittings that fit onto the front of your lenses. So now this will now screw onto my 12 to 40 Olympus lens and enables me to use standard 4x4 filters via the trays. So this filter, being a 4x4, should in fact fit into this tray, enable me to use it in this matte box. Also, this 6x4 tray should in theory slip into here and enable me to use these 6x4 NDs as well. So that's a combination I can use on this particular one matte box. But anyway, getting back to the filters, move those out of the way. So this is a fairly common filter in the film and TV industry. The next size up, which I don't have one, is a 6x6. Now the reason you want a 6x6 is to cover the size of the lens. The bigger the lens, the bigger the filter has to be. These don't really change a lot in width-wise. You can see that 4x4, 6x4, all the same sort of thing. These will cover this lens I have here without any problem. In fact, the 3x4 would probably just cover it. The reason what I'm saying is it'll just cover it. If it's not wide enough, there's always a possibility that you may get a bit of light leakage around the edge of the filter tray and around the filter. And if that happens, you may find that you'll get a bit of light bounce between the filter and the lens. And it's like a flare in a corner that you've hit when the sun hits the filters or the lens of the camera at just the right angle. And that can be a really big no-no on a big production shoot. That's not what you want. And I have seen it happen on a couple of occasions on one that I was working with. I wasn't involved with it. I was off to one side and I saw the replay of it, and I saw the bounce from between the filters and the lens. No one picked it up at the time when they were shooting. It was only on the replay that we actually saw it. And it was because the camera and the car that the camera was on was traveling underneath a lot of overhead branches, and the sun was doppling between the branches, and it was only every now and again you would actually see it. So that the camera operator at the time didn't see it because he wasn't watching the monitor close enough. He was watching the camera and couldn't see it. But when it was played back on a bigger monitor, unfortunately it was there. And then they had to do a couple of retakes to get it right after that. And they fixed the problem, but camera operator did not feel too good about it. I think he probably got a bit of a speaking to after that shoot. Anyway, getting back to it all. So this is the range of filters that are available out there. You can get coloured ones like this. This is obviously a blue. It's to make the sky a bit bluer. You can get other ones to turn the sky a different colour again, as you can see from this. I also have this one. This is what they would call a sunset filter, which would quite often be used on a program where they were shooting on, like islands and getaway sort of programs going to exotic places, and when the sky was a little bit too grey and overcast, I just whack one of these in just to make it look a little bit nicer. Some of the behind the scenes little bits and pieces that you don't know about. Anyway, hope you liked the video, hope you got a bit of information out of it, and I'll see you on the next one when we'll be talking a little bit about the building of bits and pieces for cameras. Okay, bye for now.